Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I'm going to be talking about the second week in January, which covers January 15th through the 21st. And I'm going to be looking daily where the moon is. And from that, I'm going to be able to tell you what the people are feeling and expecting on these days based on the moon. That's how important the moon is. The moon represents a collective unconscious of everyone, what we're feeling. And so remember, I am talking about the times of Central time zone. I'm in Dallas, Texas, and I want you to tell me where you're from in the comments section. It's always fun to know. And the other thing is, remember, if you want to know how these transits and aspects are affecting you personally, based on your individual birth chart, you're going to want to get the Galactic Planner, because it's going to place everything I'm talking about personally to your planets in your chart and what houses. This affects the global consciousness, but individually, you want my planner, galacticplanner.com. So let's get going. Let's start seeing what is in store with this incredibly intense week that we have in January. I can't even tell you, there's so much occurring this week. So I'm looking at January 8th, and the moon, this is a Thursday, the moon sits in Virgo all day, pretty much. Well, in the morning it shifts into Virgo. Let me see, yes. But while it's here in Virgo, it is in the nakshatra called Uttara Falguni. And the Falgunis are the marriage nakshatras. But what's happening today is Saturn is opposing the moon. Almost exactly as I look here around 11 a.m. Central Time Zone. Now that means a serious tone is occurring. People are feeling a heavy responsibility, especially concerning their relationships. Relationships are a key factor today. That's where people's heads are. That's what they're thinking. Now, this is a waning moon, and I think it's a quarter moon. But looking at this, Mercury, Sun, Mars, Venus all go to the fourth house from the moon. And Sun, Mars, Venus, all three are 24 degrees of Sagittarius. So we have them Cassimi combust. Really, they're kind of like they give the effects of both. And Mars is warlike, Venus is peaceful. So what do we have? We have this mix that doesn't really work well together. They're in Sagittarius, so people are angry about their rights and their beliefs. But being in the fourth house, this is the time that you want to do something to your house. You really want some change within the household. You might be looking to move, you might be looking to renovate, you might be looking to decorate. Things within the home are what you want to change. Now, Jupiter actually goes to the 10th house here, so this day is actually a good day to work on business and career doings, advancement with your work. But let's see, I'm looking at Mercury is the planet that's exactly in a trine to K2. And what that tells me is Mercury is what we're thinking. K2's the past. I think and this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's like you're really thinking about things in the past, like old memories, feelings and that touch your heart about your past. But it can also deal that you're thinking about your belief systems, like what do I believe and where have I come from all of the past scenarios and situations that you've been in. This is a deep time. Now, Jupiter is almost exactly opposed this configuration, which is giant. Big things are happening in the world. I think, stocks are going to be high and then they're going to be low. So be aware. During the times that it's that volatile, a lot of people make a lot of money. I'm not willing to do it though, because it's gambling when it's going to be like that. You can't predict the time it's going to go up or down, because it's constantly going up and down. Okay, let me look at Friday, January 9th. I've been given that day a lot of heat, because that's the day that all the 3 planets in Sagittarius, well, we've got Mercury there, but Mars, Sun, and Venus will be 25 degrees, and Jupiter sits at 25 degrees. It's like something big is brewing and explodes on this day. What I call it is shocking. I think this day, what occurs on this Friday, January 9th, is shocking. Something big will happen. If it's not on this day, it's the day before or after, because this energy is really the same all these days. Now, the moon sits in Virgo, in the nakshatra Hasta. Hasta means to really grapple and hold on to things. Better hold on for this rocky ride, in other words. But Hasta is really a bright nakshatra of high degree of intelligence. And there is so much going on. This is a very complicated time in the world. I can't even tell you. The moon actually sits at the midpoint of Jupiter and these planets. And that could mean a turning point for humanity, for people. A big event is due to happen, and it will be shocking and emotional. Now I'm looking at Saturday, January 10th. The moon is still in Virgo, and it sits in the nakshatra called Chitra. Now, Chitra is ruled by Mars, so things are getting very heated up. And Mars is now, it's still within a degree of the sun, but I'm looking at Mars and Venus as their effects of being combust the sun. This combustion means those planets are wiped out. They're a problem. Things aren't going well. It's too radical, and there's so many things that are happening all at once. So I'm looking at the 10th, where the Sun and Jupiter are exactly opposed, as well as Mars opposes Jupiter, and really that's the 9th as well. Oppositions can mean push and pull and problems and issues. I gotta say, around war and peace. Why? Mars is war and Venus is peace. Everything in the world is on edge because of some shocking events. Now I'm looking at January 11th, and it's a Sunday. The moon has shifted into Libra today, and while it's in Libra, things are a bit better because Libra's looking for peace, Libra's looking for balance, and these 4 planets, Mercury, Mars, Sun, Venus, go to the 3rd house from the moon, which means this is a good day for your creative efforts. Very creative efforts and creativity and expressing yourself Even your beliefs, expressing them, writing them, doing things with anything to do with your communication skills, whether it's writing, social media, connecting with other people is really important today. And it is a day that this will give you peace and connection. So go for it. Today is a day that you'll have a lot of energy to express yourself. So now I'm looking at Monday, January 12th, and the moon is in Libra. Now it is shifted from Swati. Swati is a very important nakshatra, and Swati was yesterday and part of today. Swati is the nakshatra of the businessman. So it deals with people in sales that can talk you into anything. That was yesterday and it's part of today, but the moon will venture by around 10 a.m. or so into the nakshatra called Vishaka, which means victory, accomplishment, forging forward, getting what you want done. But these 4 planets that still remain in Sagittarius are in the 3rd house from the moon. This is still a day of creative ventures, being creative, expressing yourself. Communications are grand and great. And Jupiter opposes, well, Jupiter is in the 9th house from the moon, which can deal with spirituality and learning. So these 2 days, I'm going to say Sunday and particularly Monday, is a day of learning new things, taking courses, classes, reading more, expanding your mind, your consciousness. That's what it is excellent for. Now I'm looking at January 13th. This is a Tuesday. And looking at this day, the moon is in Scorpio. And it is opposed Uranus early morning, not too early, around 10-11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And this can represent uncertainty, sudden changes, disruption is occurring. So I want you to be careful not to do anything risky today. Now, I want you to know also that the moon is debilitated in Scorpio. And because of that, people overreact. They're too emotional, they're too passionate, and it doesn't lead to anything good, especially opposed Uranus. Now, Venus has just shifted from Sagittarius to Capricorn. And that changes the energy somewhat, but we still have the Sun and Mars together. And this is breakouts in war and attacks still. I think the whole month of January, we have to be careful. There can be breakouts with wars or attacks. It's a crazy, unpredictable time, particularly this day, this Tuesday, because by the way, Tuesday's ruled by Mars. And Mars is almost 1 degree away from the sun, so it is combust. Things are not coherent. Things are not right. Things are difficult today. Now let me take it up to Wednesday, January 14th. And this particular day, the sun has just shifted into Capricorn. And with that, happy birthday, sidereal Capricorns, where your sun is. And this grouping of planets is starting to change energy from Sagittarius, the truth seeker, to a real different scenario of, well, I gotta say that this day, things will start to be more organized, and things are starting to be put back together from all the explosive events that have been occurring. Now, let me say this. Mercury is exactly opposed Jupiter today. They're both at 25 degrees. Mercury at 25 degrees of Sagittarius, Jupiter at 25 degrees of Gemini. They're in what we call Sambandha. They fully aspect each other, and they're also in each other's signs of rulership. Mutual reception, parivartana is what we call it in Vedic. So this is a day of travel, communications, opening up to a new world of connection. I think this will make the world a better place. All of a sudden, this day, things start to change completely from all the aggression that was felt before. Now, there's going to be some give and take and ups and downs and back and forth. Because as soon as Mars comes and aligns with the Sun again, we're going to go back. It's not over, but this day gives us hope, gives us a sense of possible peace because of this Jupiter-Mercury, and communications open up in a beautiful way. It's a good day for communications. And it's a good day financially too, because this Mercury-Mars go to the second house from the moon. Even though the moon is debilitated still the whole day in Scorpio, and it's in the nakshatra Anuradha. Anuradha is a positive nakshatra. It means friendship, coming together. So this is positive in many ways, but things are still this whole month pretty much out of control. So that concludes the second week of January. Now I want you to prepare for the third week. But before you go there, remember, I want you to sign up for my free newsletter. Go to my website, galacticcenter.org. Check all the opportunities out. My Patreon group, you'll want to join that, as well as don't forget the Galactic Planner uses all of this for your own birth chart. galacticplanner.com. And if you want to study with me, become my student, join my university, University of Vedic Astrology.com, semester 1 starting soon. Thank you.